Hi everyone, it's Scott here from That's English School. 英語研究プロジェクト、よくある間違いを分析します。日本語で嫌いなものをちょっと苦手と優しく表現することができますよね。あとは自分が上手にできないものについて何々するのは苦手ということもありますよね。でもね、これを英語で言おうとすると失敗する方が多いです。こんな単純なことでもうまくマスターしないといけないですね。そうしないといくつになってもいくら頑張っても上達することが難しいですね。でも大丈夫です。この動画を最後まで見てたら理解を深めることができると思います。So let's get into English mode and analyze the problem using the 4 logical steps of looking at the problem, the reason, the solution, and finally with some example sentences. Okay, let's get started. First, let's look at the problem. I'm not good at spicy food. I'm not good at spicy food. I get this kind of sentence quite a lot in my English conversation classes. It's usually the same people who make the same mistake over and over again. Some people have it in their brain that this is the best way to say it. It's like learning how to play golf without a teacher. Your grip is going to be wrong. Your swing will be all over the place, and your score will never get better. But once you learn how to hold the club properly, your score gets better and better. It's the same with English. You have to reset your brain, completely delete that way of saying it from your mind. The problem with the sentence, I'm not good at spicy food, is with the use of good at. Let's investigate further and look at the reasons why. The only time you can use the expression to be good at something is when you're talking about ability. Like when you have a special skill or a technique. You can use good at for something you do well. There are basically 2 patterns. Good at noun and good at ing activity. I'm good at the piano. I'm good at playing the piano. You can also use it in a negative way. I'm not good at the piano. I'm not good at playing the piano. So if you said, I'm not good at spicy food, it doesn't make any sense to a native speaker. I'm not good at little kids. What? Not good at kids? Oh, and I'm not very good at middle-aged men either. You're not good at them? Oh, and one more thing. I'm not good at coffee. This is just getting weird. How can you not be good at coffee? It's easy. You just put in the coffee, add some water, push the button. It's a piece of cake. So, to be good at something is only used for ability in English. As you already know, in Japanese, nigate can be used in 2 ways. It can be used to mean you don't really like something, but can also be used in another way, to have a poor ability. But in English, it can only be used for talking about poor ability. So how do we say both of those things clearly in English? I'm going to tell you in the next section. So I think you already know how to talk about ability. So let's take the example of
パクチーがちょっと苦手。
the simplest way to say this is I don't really like coriander. Easy peasy. Just use don't really like. By adding really, it sounds much softer. Another expression which may be a little confusing is good with or not good with. This is a general expression which can mean you have a poor ability or a good ability. Or if you like something or don't like something. It's similar to nigate. But it's a tricky one to use. I'm not good with computers. I'm good with computers. I'm not good with animals. I'm good with animals. I'm not good with numbers. I'm good with numbers. I'm not good with talkative hairdressers. I'm good with talkative hairdressers. In terms of just liking something, there are other expressions that native speakers use all the time. I'm not really a big fan of something. I'm not really a big fan of nightclubs. I'm not a big fan of going to karaoke. I'm not really into something. I'm not into horror movies. I'm not really into cooking that much. Something is not really my thing. Disneyland is not really my thing. Using social media is not my thing. Something is not really my cup of tea. Kabuki is not really my cup of tea. Whitewater rafting is not my cup of tea. So just by adding really to these kinds of sentences, it changes the way it comes across. Much softer and probably a little closer to the feeling of how you would say it in Japanese. But at the same time, it's a very natural way to use English. Fandabidozi. Why did I decide to say that? Nobody will have any clue. Let's take a look at 5 example sentences. And remember, this is a very good section to build up your vocabulary, your idioms, and really natural expressions. Okay, the first one is this. I'm just not good at playing musical instruments. I'm all fingers and thumbs. Fingers and thumbs. To be all fingers and thumbs means you can't move your fingers quickly and put them in the right places quickly enough. It's also used for someone who's always dropping things. John's not really into going to tiny izakayas. He says they make him feel claustrophobic. Claustrophobia is the fear of small places, like an elevator, a small room, or maybe sometimes a tunnel. Scott! These figures are all wrong. Sorry, I'll redo them. I'm just not all that good with numbers. So, did you notice there? So instead of the word numbers, we use the word figures. So this is often used when talking about data or statistics or comparing numbers, that kind of thing. So instead of using numbers all the time, sometimes you should use figures. I'm not really a big fan of sweet food. I guess I'm more into the savory stuff. This is always a difficult one to explain. So basically, savory food is not sweet food. Something salty or maybe even spicy. You know, like meat, fish, nuts, vegetables, that kind of thing. So savory has always been a really difficult word to explain in my English conversation classes for years and years and years. It's just one of those words. Does it make sense to you? Making YouTube videos is not really my thing. I always clam up in front of the camera. To clam up is when you can't speak because you're shy or perhaps scared or embarrassed. Imagine when a clam closes up. That's what you're like when you clam up. Do you want to improve your English even more? Well, click over here. This is the Verses playlist. I take 2 similar topics and compare them. I'll see you over there. Let's go.